Okay. So that was fun. That was a hard crash. Entire computer. What the fuck? No, that is probably the first time that's ever happened. Be completely honest. So now I have to redo everything. So you guys are going to have to give me a minute. Yeah, that was a brief commercial break. I have to redo everything. Oh, man. It happened right as I subbed. Oh, really? Damn. No way. Yeah, it's still saying Doom Eternal for some reason. All right, let's go ahead and fix that, and then we can jump back in. Thank you guys for being patient. Sometimes crap happens. It is what it is. It's funny that it would do it with a Fallout game and not any other game. That's honestly the first time that's ever happened. There's usually maybe some crashes here and there, and it is what it is, but it's never been a just entire computer. The Stream Deck stopped working. Everything on this monitor was frozen. It was frozen on stream, so it's not even like it was... Big ol' butts. Thank you, Nancy, though, by the way, for the sub. We'll see if that pops up. Hey, there it is! Nice. Sick. Thanks for that sub. There's the actual notification.
Pop goes the weasel.
Alright. So, YouTube still says that we're playing Doom Eternal, which is a freaking lie. Why you lie, brother? Nobody likes a liar. Alright, so this needs to get updated. Thumbnail. No, it's not made for kids. Why do they make you have to select that option in order to post any video on YouTube? No, this is not made for tits. This is not made for kids or tits. Apparently, this isn't made for words either, because what is saying words at this point? Hey, Bill Utsa. Thanks for that hot follow on the website known as twitch.com, .net, .org. All right, how does Twitch look? Twitch looks fine. Twitch looks cool. How does YouTube look? Shredder underwear, build testing, yada, yada, yada. The game. All right, this looks fine. What do you guys think? Are we good to continue running around in underwear with one of the weirdest weapons in the game? Task manager up is playing Fallout, so you just have to have task manager on a separate screen. What else? Oh, the Stream Deck. Boom, there it is. Nancy, you should have access to them emotes now. Word are hard. Bilo said, didn't watch the video. I tested myself on a custom server. Okay, cool. Yeah, no worries. It's okay. Wait, hold on a sec. One sec. We'll get back to that. All right. Anyway. But yeah, it's funny you say that because I posted a video about 8 hours ago. No, 6 or 7 hours ago, testing out different 4-stars for the shredder. So your timing is great. But yeah, the only ones that worked were Polished and fractures. Those were the only two that did anything at all. No. Pinpointers and fractures, not polished. Polished is bunk. So far. Hey, look at those new emotes in chat. Woo! Woo! Damn. Actually, hold on. Gotta do something else real quick. Look at those emotes. Yeah, Twitch has a lot more options for uploading emotes now, which is really cool. They have more options for people that are not subbed, and then they have more options for people that are subbed, and then you also have, so there's 6 slots for sub emotes, and then there's another 6 for animated. And you can take your previous emotes and make them animated, or you can upload your own custom animated emotes as well. So, pretty cool. Let's open up our handy dandy notepad. Basher notes. Hey. Oh, wow. Yeah, there. Sick. There it is. All right, this guy's gonna have to come down. What is going on? This is kind of weird because this is not the position that this was in before everything crashed. So why would it do this? Whatever. How does that look? It needs a little bit of work. You guys have to actually be able to see what the heck's going on here. Oh yeah, that didn't save either. Okay. So it is what it is. All right, we'll just make some more notes here for that. Bloody mess. Sneak attacks. That open-ended. Somebody said sneak attacks do work, but we'll try it. See what's up. All right. Bam. There it is. Thanks, Fallout. So we are going to blame that hard crash of the entire computer on Fallout. Because that's the only game that's ever done that crap. Honestly. Only game in all these years of streaming. I mean, there's been crashes for sure. But not like that. That was just... wow. Since the update, I've tested all weapons in the first week with the new stars. Nice. All right, so let's see what else is gonna happen here. Doing a custom world. Has unlimited crafting, high carry weight, clear skies. Also hard crashed on my laptop while playing 76 over Christmas. It's weird because it never, it crashes, yeah, for sure, but it never hard crashes. It very rarely ever completely crashes the desktop, and it very rarely crashes the entire computer. But when you're streaming, there's a lot of different crap going on. There's a stream deck triggering a bunch of things. OBS is doing something. There's a chat window. There's a notification window. It's a whole bunch of stuff. So who knows what actually caused that? But, well, we do know what caused it, but... Is someone there? Stop that. Stop that. Yeah, jump over that thing. Yeah, jump over that. Jump over that thing. You think we can solo this event? Dangerous pastimes? You guys think we can solo that? Man. It sucks that a ghoul is such an investment because I was really looking forward to using brick wall, but man, it's such an investment to become a ghoul. All right, let's see. Are these guys 100 or are they 75? 75, but not what we want. We want 100s. 100s only, please. So, Bill, what type of testing did you do? What things did you learn from your testing that you've been doing on weapons and power armor? Learn anything interesting? All right. Let's try try this. Aegis good for PvP. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, Aegis is rad. Aegis was one of those that in the public test server, it looked really cool, but a lot of people really don't like worrying about damage resistances and stuff because of the diminishing effects, but pretty interesting that it ended up being S tier after it ended up dropping.
Tours back again. Right, when I'm done. So, this
Did you get all that extra cryo resistance, poison resistance, on top of a buttload of damage and energy resistance?
That's what I need you for. Once you've sorted that if we find it,
Come on.
it'll bring a storm in, and
Alright,
can enjoy
we need,
everyone wins.
oh, Nerd Rage isn't going to do anything.
Fantastic.
Not many options here. We could switch to Board Survivor 3,
They're lying about in metal boxes in the previous
but our AP refresh. Oh, that's what we need to do.
so they should be labeled harvester.
Okay. I need to go back and change that.
Take the parts over to the harvester console, that are broken, and drop them in. It really seems smart to have the important metal boxes when you're working with electricity. But it is what it is. By the way,
Pick that stuff up.
anything you find that isn't labeled, you can keep. Hang fire, mate. Scanners are picking up some signatures that aren't you or harvester parts.
I'm interested too to see what other ones work well for PvP.
Additional swivel.
Reflective seemed like it was going to be good for PvP, but it just doesn't seem to do much damage, honestly. I mean, perhaps there's a different situation or a certain set of things that need to happen for a full set of Reflective to be good in PvP, but I've went up against people and they had Reflective and it just didn't do anything. Who knows? Maybe a full set is the way to go, but also notice that on other PvP videos that people have Reflective. Either the people using it have Reflective or someone they're going up against has it, and it just doesn't... It's working, and you can tell, but it's also hard to say if they have a full set of it or just one or two pieces or something, but...
Never doubted you for a second, mate. Get the rest of it fixed.
You ghostly parasitic fuck. Run away after drinking our fear.
Look, that dude was crawling on the ground. AP is 2 tankies, 2 Aegis, 1 Reflective. Nice. Yeah, that's why you Strangleheart with a full damage 4-star option. Like a mix of Rangers and Reflective. Seems like a cool kind of power armor option if you want more DPS. And then you could put Aegis Maybe 40 just one tanky on Hellcat. Since Hellcat's the tankiest one. Have a DPS power armor set, and then have a at the very least a full set of Rangers would be really good in PvP. Because it's a lot harder for alright. About to run out of time. I've just been talking too much and not focusing on the objective. Let's see. 34. No, it's not gonna work. Whoops. All right, whatever. Doesn't matter.
What?
Yeah. What? He said what? Honestly, I don't feel like it does much as I thought. I didn't feel much of a difference going from no reflective on first boss to full set. The full luck build. That's also not PvP. Well, I mean, that's important too, for sure. Because, I mean, obviously PvP's different in some aspects, but if you're not noticing it doing much damage... Oh, crap. We don't have Marsupial, so we can't jump the cliff to get up there. Yeah, if reflective doesn't seem to be doing much in PvP, and then somebody else says that they seem like it's not doing much in PvE, then probably not doing much. Reflective's cool, it does something, but now that we've had some time with him, it might just be better just to do Rangers if you want more damage output. Like bracers, use 4-star Viper on anything. You put it on... Put on one-arm ultrasight bracers. Is that a bug? 4-star Vipers. So are you talking about with a Strangleheart set, or is that just some kind of other kind of bug? Reflective is for melee attacks. In PvP or PvE? Because reflective works for both. I definitely know for a fact that it works for ranged attacks in PvP, for sure. Yeah, because there was one guy that was shooting me with a Gatling plasma or something, and I had a cryolator and it was working. As new mods on... Yes, that's true. Yeah, so are you talking about the ultrasight armor, or are you talking about the Vulcan armor? You said ultrasight. I'm confused. Morbid, Corvid, whatever. Morbid Gameplays. How's about that? Your new name. Yeah, I know what bracers is. Trying to figure out what you mean exactly. Both correct. So ultrasight bracers counts as poison damage on non-strangler heart power armor? Is that what you mean? Vulcan arms with ultrasight bracers. Oh, that's what you mean. Okay. At ultrasight, and I thought about ultrasight power armor. Yes. Oh, okay. So the one that does that. Yeah. You're right. Yep. That's a good point. Yeah. Somebody was talking about that in a build video. Which one of the YouTubers was it that was talking about how Vipers can proc with the bracers on the Vulcan arms? Well, yeah. What's up, Corvid? Thanks for coming by, bud. Been playing some Fallout 76 lately? right, let's get this weapon condition down. Polished max. Yeah, that's what's really cool about Vulcan for sure. Vulcan is badass, and it was one of those things where it didn't seem like Vulcan was, at least in the PTS, that Vulcan was going to be that great of an option. But after it ended up dropping, I mean, it made T65 irrelevant at that point, which is pretty crazy because T65 was cool, right? If you wanted to go the more tankier route for power armor, then you would do either Hellcat or T65, Hellcat being arguably the best option. But now that Vulcan's out and it has almost identical physical resistance and way more energy resistance, there's no point to do T65 anymore. Because Vulcan is pretty much just T65 with a set bonus and better mods. Oh, why would you use T65 anymore? Don't understand why they would do that to their own gear. Why would you do that to your own power armor? Why would you come out with one that makes the other one obsolete? And the other thing too is Vulcan has very low, probably the lowest radiation resistance of power armor, which is going to be great for ghouls. So Vulcan just wins all over the place, honestly. Mark West, welcome back, bud. What's going on? Last day of season at the park, so starting tomorrow we'll be online more. Oh, nice. Yeah, me and Matt were talking a little bit. We actually talked for about an hour on the phone yesterday, had a really good conversation, so really excited for the future, man. A lot of cool shit going on. Stoked to get back in there and potentially be more involved and help you guys push that forward. PvP Pros Vulcan, great as Vulcan, and the new... And well, the new mods is insane. Yeah, that's funny, right? PvP is Vulcan is great for PvP. Vulcan is great for PvE, and then Vulcan's gonna be great if you're a ghoul. So, yeah, Vulcan's cool. And what was funny was, in the PTS, Vulcan didn't look like it was gonna be that great. It looked just kind of like a thing, like, nah, maybe this is cool, but once it got out there, yeah, it's badass. So I think it might be a better option now, after talking with some of you guys, is to switch from trying to get reflective 4 stars and then just go full Rangers, honestly, at this point. Because that would work both. That would work great in PvE and PvP, both. All right, where are we at? That changed nothing. All right, you know what? We're not going to worry about this. Not going to worry about it. If we can't repair this, nope. All right, we're just going to say polish doesn't work. How about that? Bloody mess. Polished. Nah. Gonna do nah. All caps. Nah. It ain't it. Oh, I'm gonna... Bloodied. Yeah, if you, if you like being bloodied, then that's your thing. You definitely sacrifice some survivability for the sake of doing more damage. But... yeah, I don't... Lotus underscore XIII. Roman numerals. What's up? Thanks for that hot follow. All right, we're going to try a couple magazines here. So we know polished is bunk. We're just going to try a regular 3-star. We're going to see if some of these magazines do anything. Lotus, welcome to the chat. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for all of the things.
Your service here has been greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for coming by. That's from the heart, bud.
It's the other time. No shit. Hey, PT. Hey, TNT. What's up? Oh, full squatch in the house. What's up, bud? Appreciate you coming by, man. Hey. Oh. Hey. Oh. Ah. All right. We're going to try Astoundingly Awesome Tales 2. Oh, God. What are you guys doing right now? Corvette Gameplays with the 5 gifted subs.
Not worth it.
Wow. Damn, dude. To Scatan 0666. Lotus also got a gifted sub. Damn, y'all. Christmas came late this year. What's up? No, wait, it would be 2025, so that means Christmas came way early. Damn, it's me. What's up, guy? That's awesome. Yeah, thanks a lot for doing that, man. That's rad. The whole Squatch team here. Wait, hold on, is that Matt? Your Christmas bonus. Hold on, wait a minute. This guy said, get this shit off the screen. Get this shit off the... Get out! This guy said Christmas bonus, not even from last year. He said from 2023. Why is it delayed a year? Oh, man. That's funny. That's funny, guys. That's really incredible. Laughing so hard I started crying.
You suck.
Hey, shut up, man. Not that serious. Christmas bonus from 2023. I appreciate you guys coming by, though. That's awesome. Would you use Strangleheart for PvP? In your video about the minigun, I said put it on the stun module when you reload. That works. You control toxic PvP players. So, if you have regular, if you're using the minigun like normal, yeah, you can put on electricians and reload, but magazine size is really big on that. Ideally, you would want electricians on a weapon that has a very small magazine size, like a crossbow or even a cryolator without quad or a crossbow. I mean, it would work, yeah, but unfortunately, electricians, this guy, wait, never mind, we don't even have one. Oh, there it is. Electricians on the shredder does not work, actually, and we actually tried to use this with battle loaders, which has a 75% chance to reload on bashing. Didn't work either. So unfortunately, electricians on the shredder doesn't work, but electricians is cool though, for sure, and it does work in PvP. Pretty annoying in PvP if somebody's stunning you like that, especially if they have something like the cryolator that only has a 25 round mag. You will reload once every about 3 seconds. So if somebody's using that against you, they're reloading enough to where you're constantly stunned. And not sure if there's a workaround in PvP around that or not. Hey, Nancy with the 210 bits. Damn! You guys are lighting the stream up right now. What's up? That's that stuff we like to see. What is this, the end? No. We just started, bud. Yeah, dude. We just getting revved up. The ball has just started rolling, bud. Don't worry. All right, what were we gonna do? So next thing we're gonna test is magazines. Astoundingly Awesome Tales 2, which gives us 15% extra damage against Super Mutant. Is this actually going to work? Normal damage against a 100 Super Mutant is 52 and 45. Okay, well now we have to get rid of the ammo. You jerk. What's the verdict? Yeah, that's actually less damage. Why is that less? Why did that go down? Why is the damage less? Hold on. Strength doesn't do anything, so these are the first two. The first two are the ones that matter the most. %15 damage against super mutants. Alright, well, for whatever reason, the damage went down. Not sure what happened there. Or later, D's. Ooh, you gonna freeze them? You gonna freeze them nuts? Put them in the freezer for later? Save them for a rainy day? Or are you just gonna let them sit in the freezer for maybe about a year or two, right? Could you do that with peanuts like you could with meat? Right? People that hunt, you go hunting, you freeze the meat, you put it in there, and it stays in the freezer for essentially forever. Could you do that with somebody's balls?
I've got balls of steel.
He does, but that doesn't mean that they're not immune to also being frozen. So, what is up with the damage right now? How did we even start talking about it? Justice for the meatball emote. You know what? Okay. Yeah. There is a good idea there. You're right. There's all the AI images that you guys made of meat weasels. Some were funny, some were just horrifying. But there's an emote to be made, either with a meatball or with meat weasels. We can do a meat weasel emote. Pretty sure there's actually room on Twitch to add another one. So, let's see. The thing that's really strange here is why the damage has gone down. Nightmare fuel. Yeah, it was. Some of those were pretty bad. Some of them weren't. Actually, you know what? We're not going to hit the BRB screen again. Let's not do that 2 streams in a row. You're just sitting on a BRB screen talking out your ass for 30 minutes, not even realizing that nobody in chat can hear or see you. All right, let's try this. Look at this. What do you guys think? So, some people in Discord, some rad friends in Discord had the rad idea to... Because something that's always happened with Metalweasel, the Metalweasel brand in general, I mean, this isn't just on Twitch or Discord or YouTube, it's everywhere. There's always somebody that says, Meat Weasel. Always. Never fails. Which is funny, and it's pretty close, right? So they started making AI images of what a Meat Weasel would look like. And pretty sure some of these are saved here. Actually, do you guys have those? Are those still in Discord somewhere? Hold on, let's try to find that. So funny. Go to the D drive and just type in meat. Ah! Get it? You guys get it? D drive? Meat? It's like a penis joke.
That's what she said.
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, this was... this is the only one that I have, but... It's so weird. Oh, where's it at? Hold on. Meat Weasel incoming. It's about as dumb as you think it would be. Yep, there it is. You guys sick of that? Oh, that is a literal Meat Weasel. Just not even... Go off Central, I'm pretty sure. Well, there's one. We've got one, so that's fine. Revoking your speaking privileges for 3 hours. Boo? About what? What are you talking about? Dude, you are a roller coaster of a person. First you come in here just gifting subs to everybody and says, here's your bonus from 4 years ago. And now you said speaking privileges are revoked for 3 hours? Oh, bad jokes. Oh, I get it. That's an inside joke. That's right. Violator with the stun. I love that idea. I think I would use quad rapid faster reload. I think that's going to be my main gun running around. Hey, here's an idea. You ready? You ready? You ready? Check this out. You ready? Hey. Hey, here's an idea. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Use both of them. Just have both of them in your inventory at the same time. Just use both of them. You don't have to limit yourself to just one, bud. Hotkey the 25-round cryolator to 1, and then hotkey the quad cryolator to 2. Boom! Best of both worlds.
Don't ever limit yourself, guys. DMs if you want more. Oh, God. Yeah, we'll probably bring those up later on. But yeah, it's always an option, guys. Remember to have 2 of the same weapons that have slightly different rolls on them. It's always a good idea. We kind of get hyper fixated on a single weapon, though, and that makes sense, right? Trying to really boost the damage of it. But hey, I mean, it's always worth trying that out. It's honestly, it kind of sucks that quick switching weapons isn't really a thing in this game because the gunplay in Fallout 76 is so ass that it's not actually viable to do efficient quick switching. Because in a game like Doom Eternal, like quick switching is all over the place. Like you have to quick switch in Doom Eternal, but it's also very fast and it's also very efficient, and the gunplay is good enough to be able to make that feel fluid and work, etc. But wall is on right now. What you guys doing? We'll join an actual online adventure mode server. Always having 20 weapons on me at least. Ah, yes. The dozens of weapons on you at one time dilemma. 100% have the same gap plas. One is the other is anti-armor. Nice. Hey, let's make that even worse. You ready for this? Anti-armor Gatling plasma, your vampire's Gatling plasma, and then your executioner's Gatling plasma. Because executioner's is multiplicative and does more damage than bloodied. So at the very least, executioner's in your main DPS weapon. And then once that enemy gets below 40%, switch to executioner's and just watch his health bar melt away. Yeah. Nancy, what are you talking? You already have 2 of the same weapons, so you're already kind of doing the thing anyway, right? Come on. Get out. There's the exploration team. Does nobody like surviving? Everybody's like, no, man, let's just keep it casual, dude. XP. Oh, yeah. Just on a player, I would love to see exactly how it would look. You want... Wow, you want a PvP with no armor and no mutations and underwear. You just want to see me die on stream. That's what it is, isn't it? Unless somebody is willing to be a test dummy. But executioners, I've seen its beauty on the auto axe. Yes. Yes. Executioners is beautiful on any weapon. Highly underrated first star. Highly underrated. All right, so, hey, Mark, let's check this out for a sec. We'll get back to some Shredder stuff in a minute, but we'll check this out since we're kind of talking about it. 2 cryolators. So we have... usually I was running... Oh, there's no ammo. Right, because this is a shredder build. I was running, executioners on the cryolator for a while, but,
Your eyes peeled in this weather.
decided just to try aristocrats, just so it would do more damage consistently. Because the thing with executioners is, it does great. It's great and it does a lot of damage and it's multiplicative and it's phenomenal. But in PvP, damage is capped. So most of the time, it's pretty easy to do 110 damage with the cryolator. So there's actually not a need a lot of the time to even have that multiplicative damage. So I'm trying out aristocrats to do more damage consistently. Yeah, you don't get that big damage boost below 40%, but it does a little bit more damage through the entire health bar. So that's what this one is. And then the second one is always quad. Quad rapid reload with pinpointers. Since pinpointers works very well on this, and it's multiplicative also.
Seems like it's always
And then the one that has the short magazine size has electricians. So... that's not working. Okay, sometimes this is bugged. Because why wouldn't it be? We're playing a Bethesda game after all, right? Sometimes this doesn't work if you're in an event and everybody kind of has that team protection. It also could not be working because we're in a camp and there's... who knows? Okay, it's not working right now.
Gonna slaughter your brain. You can't kill us all.
Okay, it's not even working when enemies are nearby. What is wrong with this game? What is the actual literal heck is wrong with this game? Does anybody have an answer to that? Just why? All right. Well, you know what? Try this. Activate the new camp. All right. There's electricians, right? When reloading, emit a shockwave. Yes. Okay, you just not working now? That's cool. All right, let's get another weapon. So this has electricians and
Don't look so gloomy, friend. At least you don't look.
compound bow also has electricians. So let's see. Let's get that. Let's get some arrows. Yep, okay, so you can see that's working. There it is. Yep. You can see there, boom, boom, and we'll go up here against the super mutant. So you can see that shock around them. And they're getting the poison dot. We are also doing poison damage to ourselves. Which is... but yeah, that works the same way in PvP. It looks the same, it works the same. There's also on the Crusader pistol. Also has electricians, which is working, so you can see he's stunned, not moving. You can just reload, same thing. You can hit this guy. Oh, well, that just exploded. Oh, here's a floater. Nice. See? Yep. Well, that's what it looks like. whatever reason, it's not... Okay, well, now that we've triggered it and it works, let's see if it works on the cryolator now. Okay, so now it works on the cryolator. So it'd be 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000. So try it again. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1. Okay, so it's about 4. It's a pretty consistent enough reload though to where they would pretty much be stunned all of the time if you didn't have quad on the cryolator. Anyway. Let's get rid of this stuff. Shredder, Tesla. Weapons for different events, enemies. But don't get low car started. He created a TED Talk on the problems with this game. Where's he at? Bring him in. Let's hear it. Let him rat. Let him cook. All right. So we're going to try something a little bit different on a public server. This is pretty sure overly generous doesn't work. We need to try that out though. We know Demolition Expert works with fracturers, so that's cool. Adrenaline does not work with the shredder. So if that's the case, Bloody Mess also is probably not going to work. So in the real game, this is what we've got for now. A shredder, anti-armor, bashers, endurance, fracturers. And then a same thing with the same one with vampires. So let's see if... Actually test Bloody Mess real quick. See how that works. How's that look on? Can you guys still read that? Okay. Pretty sure the game just crashed. Yep. Game just crashed. What the hell is this? That freaking thing out of here. Strength or basher and blocker. Traveling pharmacy also, but that was it. And rank 4 of... What is the one in perception that gives you energy resistance? Whatever that is. Rank 4 of that. Because when you have no armor and no mutations, you need as much as you can get. All right. How many crashes? Oh, nope. Just have avoided a crash, so that's good. It looked like it was about to crash again, but guess not. Freaking game. Mateus, what's up? Welcome back. How you doing? How many more crashes do you think is going to happen, guys? No heavy gun perks work on it. Nope. Bullet shield does not work on it either. But well, bullet shield works with the minigun when you have 5mm loaded into it and you're actually firing bullets. But the second that the weapon's empty and you're just spinning the barrel, bullet shield doesn't work. All right, what were we gonna do? We're gonna test this. And then we were gonna try, we have a bunch of magazines, so we were gonna try on a regular server, because maybe it was bugged in the last one, who knows. Damage to super mutants.
Don't you find it amusing how Nuka-Cola bottle caps are now used as currency?
Then we're gonna test Bloody Mess. Okay, we can just rubber band for no reason. That's cool.
Blow it out your ass.
Yeah, that could have been a fart instead. Alright, yeah, Traveling Pharmacy, Basher, Blocker, all maxed out. Refractor, 4/4. Alright, so it's doing 38 right now. Let's add damage to super mutants. Same exact. 38. So magazines don't work. Alright, magazines don't work. Let's try scoped gun damage.
Time to die.
Well, this doesn't have a scope. Damage to Mirelurks, damage versus animals. Explosives could work on just the explosive damage from Fracturers. Alright, Live and Love 2, 5% extra damage when on a team. Is this gonna work? Nope. That doesn't work. Alright, so... LL2? Nah. Alright, what about Bloody Mess? What do you guys think? Nope. Same damage. The Bloody Mess is not working. The Bloody Mess is a... Nah. Get out of here. What are hotkeys right now? Toxic Goo, Rataway... Carnivore? Uh-oh. Gotta get rid of that. Okay. We don't have Start Sheens. So that actually should have gotten rid of that mutation. Yep. Alright, so now... Yeah, so Bloody Mess doesn't do anything. One gun army. So this is interesting because this is... This is going to be tricky to try to see if this works or not. Because the Shredder minigun already staggers a lot and cripples a lot. Now, since we have Fracturers on, and Fracturers procs with crippling, perhaps we might notice more explosions, and that might be a better indicator that it's working. Pretty easy visual indicator to see. It's hard to tell if that's more explosions or not. Alright, let's go around this way then and see if we can... This is what's so interesting about this weapon, is it's so hard to test some of this stuff. Okay, what was that? 3 explosions for Super Mutant? 2. 1. Alright, let's take off one gun army and see. There's another one over here, right? Yep. Okay, so that was 2. Okay, so it's not like we're getting more explosions necessarily. That's 1. But we also got 1 explosion with one gun army. 1 explosion. 2 explosions? 2 explosions? Okay. So we're getting 1 to 2 max. We'll put this back on. One. Yep, that's just 1. Maybe? What do you guys think? Why do you have other players' mics off? Who? Why do you only stream Fallout 6 and Doom Eternal? Well, you just coming in hot with the questions today. Other players' mics. Nobody's off. Nobody's muted. Fallout 76 and Doom Eternal because they're freaking rad. More strength you have, the bigger the damage of the shredder. So that's not true anymore. The shredder no longer increases its damage with strength. We can try it out. So, do we have Psycho Buff going? No. So what are these, level 60? So level 60. We're getting what, 48? 48. Oh, that was a level 75. So on level 60 super mutants, we're getting 48 without Psycho Buff. They're gonna be another level 60. Alright, here we go. Now we're gonna use Psycho Buff, which gives us, people that might not know, plus 3 strength and plus 25% damage. So it should be doing something. So we're gonna use one. Psycho Buff. 48. So Psycho Buff is a no. Psycho Buff. Gonna add that to the list. Nah. Well, it's One Gun Army. One Gun Army is tough. It's really tough to figure out if One Gun Army works or not. We'll do one more run through with One Gun Army equipped. It looks like without One Gun Army, we're getting 1 to 2 explosions aiming outside of VATS for the legs per super mutant. So if we do a run through with One Gun Army and we get more than, on average, 1 to 2 explosions per super mutant, then maybe One Gun Army is actually working. But we'll see. Tested on some random player. It's time to freeze and stun some poor random. Just call me Dr. Freeze. Dude, we can test it out for sure. I'm down to test PvP stuff anytime. You guys are interested in that kind of thing. Alright. So, level 100 super mutant, One Gun Army is on. That's 2 explosions. Two explosions. Well, okay, actually, we would have to cripple legs and arms. That would be why we would see 3 explosions, because it would cripple 2 legs and an arm. Okay, that's right. That makes perfect sense. If that's the case, then it's pretty much impossible to tell, at least in this specific testing situation, if One Gun Army is actually working with the Shredder or not. Because the thing is, the Shredder is already crippling and staggering a lot to begin with. Even if this was working, adding 12% to those is probably not worth it, because it's already doing it a lot. So we'll just say, for One Gun Army, probably not. When I follow 71 of your streams and I saw an X, the audio icon. Streams. An X to the audio icon. Huh. No. Area chat was on. Weird. Could have been something else. Who knows? It could have been a bug. Who knows? No, nobody was muted either. Yeah, it just would have been area chat and audio would have been on, which honestly, having area chat on in game while you're streaming is not a smart idea. But hey, actually, you know what? Thinking about it right now, let's go ahead and turn that crap off. We're just gonna turn that off for now. They mute themselves. Yeah, that might have been something on your end, bud. He's got a point. PvP nowadays is boring because most of them are only using auto axe. Yeah, but the thing with that is the auto axe is the best DPS for sure for PvP, but there's so many more options now with the addition of 4 stars for weapons and armor that a lot more weapons are viable now. For instance, the Holy Fire with Pyromaniacs and Aristocrats. Yo, dude, I melted some dude in power armor with that. It was hitting 110 damage each hit. It actually looked like it was working better than the Cryolator, honestly. So before this update and before the addition of 4-star mods, yeah, you were kind of forced to use the auto axe, but not really. I mean, there were people that I'd PvP before the update and they were on auto axe builds and I didn't have one and was able to stay alive and kill them sometimes. After the update though, there's a lot more options now. For instance, again, Holy Fire is a really good option with anti-armor or Aristocrats and then Rapid and then Pyromaniacs. Actually, it'd be interesting to see if Pinpointers might be a better option for the Holy Fire instead of Pyromaniacs. Because the thing with Pyromaniacs is it pretty much just works all of the time no matter what you're aiming for, which is great. But it's only 50% because it's additive. Pinpointers, that might be worth something checking out. I was stalking PvP and melted him. Holy Fire. He was stacking. Oh, and you melted him. Oh, don't you love to hear that? Actually, here's a good question. After the update, with the addition of things like Aegis to 4 stars, how do you tell if somebody's stacking or not? Right? Because before, one of the ways that you could tell if somebody was stacking or not was you could pull up awareness, see their stats were way higher than is really possible and say, okay, yeah, that guy's got some fishy stuff going on. But now it's possible with Aegis, and if your whole team has Aegis, to get your damage resistance up super high. So, well, how could you tell post-update that he was stacking? Use jetpack against them in PvP? No. Other people do, and jetpack is cool, but I've never used jetpacks. Yeah, man, the Holy Fire thing was crazy. It was just kind of like, all right, well, whatever. We'll see how it goes. We'll try this weapon out, right? Try it, and that's kind of what it's been since the update, is trying out different weapons with different 4 stars for PvP and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. And dude, it just hit 110 every time, and just he was dead. I was like, whoa. That might be a good justification then, if that's the point and people are starting to catch on to that, to run Sizzling Style on top of Fireproof if it's doing that much work. All right, what were you in here testing? Okay, Psycho Buff didn't work. Bloody Mess, no. Sneak Attacks, that's something we need to change. We need to try first. Let's get let's just get some food going real quick to have some kind of option going on here. Didn't want to use that. Whoops. Roasted Mirelurk meat. But don't ever eat that one. All right, LL2 does not work. Psycho Buff doesn't work. Damage versus the Wendigo. Damage versus Mothman. Damage from robots. Explosion size. This could probably work, but I know the guy. Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be really tough to tell nowadays because you pull up somebody's stats and awareness and then see that they have 1300 plus damage resistance, 1400 plus energy resistance, 400 resistances to elemental stuff. And is it because they're stacking or is it because everybody on their team has Aegis? It's really easy now to hide that because you don't know. Heavy gun crit damage, that's not going to do anything. Damage versus humans. This one could work, but probably not, because if this one isn't working, damage the super mutants, if that magazine isn't working, then why would damage versus humans work, right? It doesn't seem like it would. So we're just going to say magazines don't work. Honestly, we can try to find a Mirelurk just to try to test it again. That'll be a super easy way to see what's up. And then if the Mirelurk magazine doesn't work and do more damage, then we know for a fact that, well, it's at least safe to say that magazines for the Shredder aren't going to work. Unless there's a magazine that increases bash damage. Does anybody know if there is one? I haven't tried it since the update. What? Aegis? Having a bunch of people on your team with Aegis or using awareness? Stun gun with only one round inside with reflection. Stun reload. Stun gun. Only one round. Which gun is that? Before you could auto-axe, instead of pushing, you attracted him. What does that mean? What do you mean? Interesting. Alright, so we got a small Mirelurk here, so we're gonna try damage versus Mirelurks. 15%. Oh shit. We didn't get it before. Damn it. Alright, oh, we're just gonna have to switch magazine. That sucks. A waste of magazine. Explosion size. We'll just do that. Alright, so this isn't going to do anything. Actually, you know what? Just to be super safe, we'll do heavy gun. No, not going to do that one. We'll do Wendigo. Alright, so this is not doing anything. This is a magazine for doing damage against a Wendigo. So this is going to be... What is that? 31 and 33? Alright, well, we're gonna have to be able to, we're gonna have to tell against this guy then. Alright, 16 and 9. Oh, he crippled. What happened, bud? What you doing down there? Alright, 16 and 9, and then 9 and 9. Okay, so that damage did not increase. We will switch to a different magazine again. 9. So same exact damage if we're using a Mirelurk damage magazine or not. So Mirelurk damage magazine does not work. So none of the magazines are probably going to work for the Shredder, safe to say. Go ahead and put this guy out of his misery. Oh, you just woke up all of a sudden? That limb's crippled. Fractures is really cool on this, though. Because the other thing, too, is it gives you a visual cue that you've staggered them. Which is awesome. Which is, yeah, it's pretty neat. You know without a doubt that you staggered them because their limbs exploded, right? That's how you knew if he was stacking or not. Oh, so, okay. So when you used an auto axe against them and it would push them back, if you used an auto axe and they started coming to you, is that what would happen? That's how you knew they were stacking? Would that happen when you were actually in PvP with them, or would that also happen outside of PvP? Right? So if you guys were not PvPing each other, you could still move them. Would it happen in both situations? Yes. Interesting. Huh. That's worth noting. Worth checking out. Or not checking out, but hopefully not having to come across somebody that's stacking, but it's at least worth keeping in mind for sure. Yeah, because the awareness option now is just kind of diluted at this point with just how ridiculously high you can push your resistances now, legitimately. Yeah, especially if somebody's using all Aegis, someone else on their team has Aegis pieces, and then they have super high endurance. Dude, you would open up the Pip-Boy and look at stats, right? And then this would just be numbers. It would just be like 30 different, it would just be stacks of numbers next to each other. You see something in different points, difficulty of caravans, or is it just me? It's different. Yeah, it's. Huh. A lot of people aren't doing caravans anymore, man. So it's tough to say. Which kind of sucks because caravans were a cool idea, but it just kind of fell flat on its face after. It seems like a couple of weeks or so, honestly. My PvP is Assassin's Endurance, Cav, Scent, and Aegis. Ooh. Ooh. Nice. So here is some. So Hellcat. PvP set. Assassin's Endurance. Mostly Sentinels. One Cavaliers. Haven't started putting 4 stars on this yet because this set was always meant to be the tankier option for PvP because of the ballistic damage reduction. So this might eventually get full Aegis. Where is... Okay, this guy, we're at 36,000 caps right now. Need to make sure we don't get hit the max. This one is Assassin's Endurance, Sentinels, and Cavaliers. This is Sawbones. That's eventually going to get replaced. This one is Radioactive Powered, which is pretty interesting because when you have rads, you get extra AP regen. That one's cool. It's kind of whatever. That'll get replaced eventually, but then the rest of these are Reflective, 2 Reflective, and 1 Rangers. This might eventually just be full Rangers. Because that's more of the DPS power armor set. And there's this one, which... did he buy? Hold on a sec, guys. Okay, he's buying explosive bobbleheads.
Okay, got this, Pat.
Yeah, this one's Endurance, Sentinels, Cavaliers also. Not sure what 4-star to do with this, because I also haven't figured out what 1-star to do for this set either. This might just eventually be a full Overeaters for PvE, but I don't know. It looks awesome, so it might also be cool to do that for PvP. And then Raid Eaters is just Strangler Heart with Overeaters. And then Vulcan is the 1-star is still up in the air. Not sure what to do with that yet. But all the power armor sets are pretty much the same. They're all 2-star Endurance. They're all Sentinels and Cavaliers. At least. For me in PvP, yeah, Strangleheart's awesome for PvP. Only armor in the game that adds damage to your ranged weapons, which is sick.
Find a cutout to stick up, find a safe to crack. Just find
You have to make.
get 'em back to the wagon. I'm the ticket. They don't pay me enough. Well,
Still broken. Everyone had the caravan rewards. There was zero reason to do them. Do count as public events. Yeah, that is true. That is a good point. They do count as public events, and they're easy to do a lot of the time. So you can still, if you're past rank 100 and you need to do the challenges to complete a public event, you can easily do caravans. So that is a plus. But whether or not somebody's actually doing a caravan is another thing. That's the tough part, because yeah, you're right. Nobody, after everybody got all the rewards for them, it's like, all right, well, what's the point? Which kind of sucks, because the Shenandoah Valley is such a cool area visually. The aesthetic is just awesome. The vibe is badass, but there's not really a lot of reason to be down there. It's cool that we got a free map expansion and they added a lot of content, but there just needs to be more incentive and more of a incentive to actually go down there and visit that area. There's not really much of one right now, fortunately. Oh, wait, it's full now. You have to make Vulcan for PvP. It seems like it, yeah. It's gonna be tough to pry me away from Strangleheart because of that poison dot. And dot damage in PvP has always been great. But Vulcan's cool too, yeah, for sure. That extra AP regen. Can't select what difficulty you want. You get more caravan points if there are more people. Yeah. 3 tankies and 2 ranger. Yeah, full ranger sounds really cool. Especially after some of us in chat have been talking about reflective. It seems like, yeah, it might be a good time to just kind of switch the mentality to just try to focus on full rangers at this point. Unless somebody comes out with something and does some testing or something changes in an update to where reflective is just a lot better than what it is. Having that extra steady 25% damage in PvE and PvP is just awesome.
I knew, folks. You know what that means. The sheriff back in
Tanky's cool too because it turns you purple, which is awesome because it's a visual indicator that it's working, which is super badass. Oh no, don't do that.
And last time. Yeah! You done did it, partners.
Yeah! You done did it, partners!
Or maybe over
B63 laser and the mods for it. Yeah, that was about it. That was about the only reason for most people to do it. Honestly. Alright, how much, well, we'll just keep some of this for now, just kind of hit the cap. Not gonna overthink that. Fusion cells, what is that for? The Ranger, okay, fusion cells is for the Tesla cannon. Tesla cannon and danger all. Okay, that makes sense because Shredder is ballistic. So what's up, dude? Oh wait, voice chat's off. Whoops. Never mind, take it back. B63 is good in PvP. No way. Huh. Executioner's rapid AP pinpointers. That's weird. Never would have guessed that. Is it pretty easy for the V63 laser carbine in PvP to ramp up to 110 damage? Or do you need to have a full commando build for it? Or will it get there pretty quickly on its own? The new power mode, just pop stealth boys. Well, you should pop stealth boys anyway, if you're in PvP. Yes, no commando. Ooh. Say less. Say less, bud. Get the Say less. Actually, okay, what are the best mods for it? I actually might not have all that unlocked. Honestly. Yeah, man, any weapon that's good in PvP that requires 0 perk card investment, all about it. Doing there, bud? Nocti, what's up, bud? Yeah, but Mark, honestly, you should be popping stealth boys if you're gonna do PvP anyway. Even if you think that you might be able to beat this person and it's gonna be super easy, use one anyway. Because you are one cold shoulder crit to the face away from dying instantly. So it's always good to have those. But you need to use it on the Vulcan with the arm mods. Oh, so it can, so you can get the gimbal bracers. Is not that good anymore? It could be now that it could be now because everybody has more health and resistances. A cold shoulder crit isn't doing as much. I mean, it depends. If they're spec for PvP, post-update, probably not that viable. But the thing is, most people that you go up against in PvP aren't super spec for it, so you can probably just crit them in the face anyway. That's why it just always be safe. Get in a stealth boy. It makes it way harder at that point. You at least... There is some skill in PvP in this game, but a lot of it is just resources, the build, and a little bit of luck, honestly. But if you're not in stealth boy, you really bring that skill gap way shorter, because they can just go into VATS, which aims the gun for them, hit a button, use a critical on your face, and you're pretty much dead in 2 shots. You have cold shoulder if you have pepper shaker with Iceman's 4-star. Maybe. The thing with the pepper shaker though is it's still not my, it probably still isn't that viable in PvP. I mean, it has a little bit better of a use case in PvP now because you can put pinpointers on it. And pinpointers works pretty good on a weapon like that because even if they're in stealth boy, it shoots so many projectiles, you're gonna hit a limb. Even if you aim center of mass, you're gonna hit a limb and get some of that multiplicative damage at least, but it might be kind of doubtful on whether or not that's the case. Oh yeah, that's right. Iceman's is... Yeah, you'd probably just be better off having pinpointers, and then aristocrats or AA, rapid, and what, endurance or something. Hey, speak of the devil. Oh wait, this one has executioners. Executioners on this makes sense though, because you're hardly ever going to hit 110 damage in PvP with this. So you have room to use executioners to get that extra multiplicative damage. See, with a weapon like the cold shoulder, not the cold shoulder, cryolator, you're going to be doing 110 damage pretty easily to a lot of targets. Even if they have pretty high cryo resistance, because this thing just is really good. But who knows? Also, something else that's pretty interesting for PvP potentially is the Resolve Breaker. Bill, have you tried this out for PvP with the action point drain and the freezing effect? Because what's interesting about this is this does not damage yourself. So if you shoot this at the ground, it won't drain your AP. Interested to know if that... I've used that in PvP on people before, and they just died instantly, but it was just some random wanted level. So he might not have been in a full PvP loadout anyway, and pretty much anything was going to one-shot him. So, who knows, but... Remove the VATs against players. Yeah... PvP in Fallout is cool, but it just it needs to be different. It's needed to be different for a while. Simply nerfing the damage at 110 wasn't enough. Because you can still crit somebody and it'll do more than 110. So it's the toughest thing about PvP is doing enough damage because of that 110 cap. It's easy to stay alive. Spam resources, right? But doing enough damage to kill the person is the toughest part. Even if you have the auto axe, because somebody knows what they're doing, you guys are just going to sit there and jumping up and down in the same spot over and over again for 6 minutes straight using 400 quantums. Wow, so exhilarating. But so PvP should be a little different. It's just tough to say what that would look like even. What would be the best way to do PvP in this game and actually have it a little more not so just ridiculous?
Don't look so gloomy, friend. At least you don't look like a prune.
Alright. Most of them use cryolator, paper triggers, auto axe, shredder, and gulper smacker. Oh yeah, the gulper smacker. Yeah. Yep. This thing's fun. Dude, this thing is so fun to use against people. Because if they don't have a decent build that can handle something like this, you just hit them once, run away, and then they die 2 seconds later. It's so funny. This thing's fun. This is also another weapon where you don't need to have any perk cards invested in it, really, because it does so much poison damage that it just melts the crap out of people if they don't have high poison resistance.
Amusing how Nuka-Cola bottle caps are now used as currency.
All right, so we're gonna mark off all of these other magazines off the list because they don't seem to be doing anything. All right, sneak attacks. We'll save that for last. 3-star with 40% damage taken. Okay. This is an interesting one. We're gonna see if this works. Actually, first, need to check a, mod mule. See if we have that mod. Pop the Moonshine Jamboree. Insane. Yep. I used to carry a lot of those, what is it called? Vintage. What is it? Vintage Nuka shot. No, it's not Nuka. Whatever. Whatever that drink is, yeah. But kind of stopped carrying it around for whatever reason. I need to keep some of those in the inventory more regularly now. Because yeah, that's the perfect thing. That's the perfect item to use with that. Not really a railway rifle. Railway rifle. Railway wawa. Wait, you're getting killed by the railway in PvP? What? How? You must not be in a stealth boy. Interesting. All right, what is the name of the one that does... That's the one. Defenders. Right? 40% damage taken while power attacking. And the Shredder counts as power attacking. So that was the one. Alright. Let's, try this one out. PvP Snowball. Teams go against each other and stun and knock out with ash balls. Interesting. A 2v2 PvP situation. You could set it up like that. Everybody would, what? Everybody would have a wanted level? That'd be kind of tricky, though, because you'd be doing damage to your teammate, quote-unquote. It would be a lot better if there was a dark zone where people just fight each other like the Division game. Yeah, that's a good point. It was also like that in Borderlands. People didn't PvP in Borderlands at all, really. I mean, you never saw that. But if you did, it would do that. It would set up a shield around you, and you could only go so far. Yeah. How would that work, though? I mean, would other people be able to come in and out of the zone? Would they not be able to come into the zone? Would it close it off? What if you start PvPing in that zone and there's other players in there? Does it lock them inside? I think it doesn't work with Shredder. Huh. Wouldn't be who would be shocked if it didn't, right? Let's find out, though. Let's see. Worth a shot. We will go back to whatever that server was. Oh, that's why it does it. So that BRB button is right in the same place where the scroll button is for the other screens on the Stream Deck. So if you're on this screen, which right now has all the Duke Nukem soundboard options, you hit scroll to go back a screen. That's where that button is, but it changes to BRB. That's why I keep accidentally hitting that. Huh. Noted. All right, somebody's camp is there. We're gonna make sure we get our camp up. That way all the stuff that's in the freezer does not go bad. Even though the only thing that's in the freezer is Tato soup and K-fungus soup. Which... thinking about doing a wanted level stream again. Been a while. And those soups would be a great option for that stream. Few stealth boys on me. Some of the people last a long time. Yeah, are you using regular stealth boys or Mark 3s? There's also the option to use Secret Agent. Yeah, if you have a Mark 3 stealth boy with Secret Agent maxed out, it'll last a long time. Stealth boys are easy to get too, which is which is a plus. What you can also do is you can take regular stealth boys, and then if you find what is they called? Hallucinogen gas containers, you can make phantom devices out of them, which doesn't increase the duration. It's still a normal stealth boy, but the difference is it lets super duper proc. So let's say you have 20 stealth boys, 20 of those gas canisters. You make phantom devices with them. Again, it's the same exact length, but instead now you would have 25 to 30 stealth boys. So it's a way to be able to get free stealth boys, but you would have to find the gas canisters first, and super duper would have to be on, and they would have to proc. But yeah, you can just go to the White Spring bunker and just hop servers and find the Stealth Boy 3s. Alright, what is going on? The Fractures is so fun. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Deathmatch, but no VATs. Yeah, that could be interesting. Perk points for the new Ghoul Legend skills? Not at the moment. Eventually. I mean, we have till March, so that's plenty of time to get more, but pretty sure that this character is not going to be a ghoul. That's going to be a new character. That's not going to be this account. It changes the cards too much. Honestly. Until it comes out, people start figuring out what the meta is, what works and what doesn't. Then maybe, but I mean, this build's kind of all over the place because we're just testing stuff, but break Stealth Boy by going to daily op and back. What do you mean? You break somebody else's Stealth Boy? Because I've seen people do that in PvP videos before where they go to daily ops or like somebody was talking about somebody they were fighting going in daily ops or something. So their Stealth Boy will disappear for them on your end? Or Star Legendary if it does more damage than the gun. Good durability. Polished. That's the one. Maybe. Polished is kind of whatever, though, honestly. Pinpointers is way better. Polish is just kind of bunk, especially because it's bugged to hell. Damn, so that is what it is. That's kind of weird, though. I mean, look, if both of you are in Stealth Boy, you're going to go to a daily ops, come back, and then he might not even be there anymore. He might have think he just left or something. It's gone for you. So what if he repops the Stealth Boy when you come out of daily op? So let's say he uses a Stealth Boy, you go into daily op, you come back, and then he uses one again. Still gone? What? So it applies for that entire session. That server that you're on. Would you pretty much have to back out of the main menu? That's weird. A weird ass bug. Honestly, why is that even a thing? I had heard of that before, but thankfully I haven't really seen anybody do it. Oh wait, hold on. We need to go up here. Wait. Where's the mod? Oh, do we not have enough script? Nope. Well, we can... That one costs 70. We could probably do it on a different one. No, that one costs 45. Dang, we still don't have enough script.
Feeling a little poor right now. Where have all the scripts gone?
Where are all the scripts? Ain't got a dime to my name. Break the game with every update. Well, Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Ooh, radiation rumble. All buffs. Extremely hard to beat them. Yeah, or you guys call a draw. You can probably tell pretty quickly if you guys are just going to stand there and jump in the air for 10 minutes and waste all your resources or not. Sometimes you get lucky. A lot of it has to do with luck too, for sure. You think we can go down here, even if we have what rads? Let's try. Let's see. Okay, that was not that bad. Where's our rat away? 6? Oh god. Oh god. Yikes, bud. Wait, is this event done? Ah, piss. Piss pointers.
Terrible. What's the going rate on Wonder Blue in Appalachia?
Test with bobbleheads. 4-star effect. I already answered that question. No. What is going on? You guys. No, I don't have polished. Nope. Negative. Alright, magazines don't work. We'll go ahead and just put the rest of these back. Magazines are a no. Explosion size? Yeah, well, whatever. Would be nice to have more Unstoppables 4. Alright, what else we got? 4-star, 70% damage. Oh, we didn't even get any script, though, for that. Well, we can do a daily op and get script. Never test on public, all custom. Did you have polished? Nope.
Brotherhood of Steel. We need assistance shutting down radio interceptors.
Negative.
They're smart, whoever they are. Place these devices in an area swarming with powerful baddies. Kill a few of them before the next step. Happy hunting. Try to stay quiet, alright? The opposition here is stronger than usual. I don't want anyone
which one is this? Oh. Hey, bud. Calm down. That's enough. Start acting up. Get calm down. Tenderizer probably doesn't work. Probably safe to say. Everybody at? Ooh. What? And, not getting any. Do these guys not have limbs? Fractures is not proccing. Weird. You guys are just immune to limb damage? Yeah, Fractures isn't proccing. It's weird.
Head to an interceptor and disable it. Expect increased activity nearby.
Where? Oh.
First connection is cut.
Move your perks to PvP and put you
Take down another handful of these
more like being
bastards,
skilled
and I'll
than
try to
base
hone in on the
build.
next code.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Anything that would make it more about skill in PvP and less about quantums and gear. It would be nice if it felt more like a competitive skill-based option. It doesn't have to be just straight on Call of Duty, but because I mean the thing is you can the amount of skill that you gain, let's say you're really good at Call of Duty or something and you go 30-2 or 40-6 pretty often, right? You probably have a good amount of skill. You probably have good internet at least. You probably know what you're doing to some extent. Good aiming, good reflexes. But it's like in Fallout, none of that matters. It's just, it doesn't really mean much. Who has the better build? Really, oh, wait. What is this supposed to be?
Take that code to the next interceptor. Keep your eyes peeled. I bet you're really starting to rile them up. Well
Nope,
done.
that's
One
not
more
it.
to go. Weapons hot. Eliminate another round of them. I'll try to pin down that last code.
Where is... Stop. Knock it off. Stop that. Where's he at? Where you hiding, bud? Come on now. Hey, what's up, dude? Love that. That ding noise. What you doing over there, bud? The noise from Most Wanted, right? That is that what that is? Oh, there he is. Oh, stick.
Track the final code down to a specific target. Bad news. It's looking to be way tougher than the rest.
Oh yeah, you sure about that? You always say that, and he never is. Stop lying. Oh, it's a treasure hunter. Get the AP. Where's the AP? Where's the AP?
Another notch to add to your
That's the
belt.
thing about... What, wait, hold on. What is...
Final interceptor.
Oh, 7 is colas. Okay. AP has left chat. Wait, is that not it? Okay, there it is.
Not sure what
5-star mod should be double-edged sword like negative mutation of 50% damage when target on fire, but 50% when not. -5 reduction, but minus or below. Huh. So, as in it's more risky to use a 5-star than the other ones. This game is super easy, especially if you only do PvE, so something that makes it a little bit more challenging would be welcomed. They might not be going for something like that, though. The developers might not be trying to make the game more difficult. 70 high. It should be really impossible for another player to kill you. Yeah. Yep. Even if they're doing 110 damage, I mean, you have over 1,000 health, and your damage resistance numbers are through the roof, even without Aegis. So, yeah. Why high endurance is great. You get Iron Stomach. You get more energy and damage resistance. You get natural resistances. So, fire, cryo, poison. And you get AP. In that video at, what was it, 69 or 70 endurance, Thirst Quencher was giving 180 action points, which is the equivalent of 18 agility points. That is massive. It's huge. So huge. Get out of here. Are you shooting with no ammo? It's not shooting bullets. It's just using the shredder attachment on the minigun, which is doing bash damage. So that's how. Rat still staggers. Isn't that funny? Dude, that is the funniest thing about staggering in this game. That is the funniest thing about it. You can be level 1,500, 1,000 plus health, 1,200 plus damage resistance in power armor, and then you get staggered by a level 75 mole rat. It's the dumbest crap. It makes no sense. Your underwear have bloodied? Dude, wouldn't that be funny if there was legendary apparel and it was just underwear? Like with the hunter's coat or the wedding ring? Or it just gave you AP refresh and sentinels, but it was just underwear? Would Rangers work with the cryolator? It better. Yeah, for sure. There's no reason why it shouldn't, honestly. Yeah, Rangers seems like a much more cut and dry, does it work or does it not kind of situation. So yeah, Rangers would work with any weapon that is ranged, that is not melee. That's what's cool about it. All pieces, you get 25% just across the board. What is that? That's like adding... What is Bloody Mess? 25%. So if you have Bloody Mess on, you'd be getting 15. Having Rangers on all 5 pieces would be the equivalent of adding 5 more ranks of Bloody Mess. So that would be the same as if you had 8 rank points of Bloody Mess, essentially. But just for ranged weapons. Kind of an interesting way to look at it. Yeah, it might be time also, going back to a PvP loadout, it might be time to start running Sizzling Style regularly. And Funky Duds. Just in case somebody shows up with a holy fire. Underwear spawns. You just get free junk spawns from it. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. All right, what else do we need to test? 3-star and sneak attacks. Okay. Yeah, I just recently got Fallout First again. So I've been used to not having access to a custom world and just having to do testing in adventure mode. So it's it's still kind of tough to remember that sometimes. Like, oh wait, You can just go in a custom world and test stuff. You don't have to do it in adventure mode anymore. Kind of got to break that habit a little bit. Overly generous. Pretty sure that one didn't do anything. That one's kind of tough to test though, because it's hard to tell when an enemy has rads or not, or if they have rads or not. Okay, let's see. All right, polished is bunk. So there's that. We'll change this since we're not going to test polished anymore. Better. What is it? Defenders. Right? Wait. Wait a minute. Okay. That, only for auto axe. Oh, that's right. Oh, okay, because... Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on. Fallout 6. Defenders. Armor and melee, that's right. It does have two purposes, but one of them is not for ranged weapons. That's why that's not going to show. Okay, so we're just going to take that off the list completely. Alright, so the one thing that's left next is sneaking. Alright, you know what? We're gonna get rid of these guys real quick. Yeah, it was armor and melee. Those were the two variations of it. Not, oh, we need sunshine oil. Do nothing for plus most enemies are resistant immune, so it's not worth it. Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah. Overly generous, we'll say maybe, but prob not. Alright, let's do... Man, it would be great if you could do this in adventure mode. Just not even the rest, no other food item, just this one. You just sit here and do this all day with it. Oh man, that'd be so great, wouldn't it? And you just look down and like, oh hey, what's this? Oh, 85 free sunshine oil. Oh man, that would be so cool. That would be sick. Yo, knock it off. Wow, what a miss. What an absolute miss. What is really weird is all of a sudden the damage just went down for no reason. It should be doing over 60 damage to the lower level super mutants, but it's only doing 38. It doesn't make any sense. Basher's on. Nothing else here is doing anything. Those aren't doing anything, so it doesn't even matter. Huh. Really weird. Alright, let's see if defenders... Wait a minute. Oh. Wait. Never mind. That doesn't work. Oh, whoops. Whoops. That's right. It's not an option. Whoops! Alright, let's just get rid of this guy right here. Gone. Polished low. Doesn't matter. Sneak. What do we have? Over operative. Alright, we'll rank that guy up. Wait, it's ranged attacks. Well, we could do, try this. Try this. We'll keep these on. We'll do Action Boy 3 just to help out a little bit. And then we'll do Escape Artist. And then we'll do Secret 8. No, maybe not. We'll do Secret Agent. Just to stay sneaky longer. 25% harder to detect while sneaking. Actually, we might not even need a Stealth Boy if we max this out. Let's see. Sneaking is completely new to me, so we'll figure it out. We will see what is up. Get rid of this first. Do that. Escape Artist. Hey, Bloody Mess doesn't work, so we can take that off. Luck of the Draw will probably work. Oh, maybe. Who knows? Ricochet works. Good with Salt. Well, we're not carrying anything, so that doesn't matter. Alright. Escape Artist, Sneak maxed out. And then we'll throw on that just for the heck of it. Alright, and then we will need... Alright, there's that. So... let's change it to... an actual usable 3rd star for this guy. We'll just leave it at 3 stars. We'll change it to Endurance. We could change it to Ghosts. We're trying to do some sneaky stuff, so hey, Ghost sucks, but you know what? Sneaky vibe. Ooh, you know what else we could do? You know what? More sneaky vibes. We could do Chameleon. Because we are unarmored. So this is the actual one situation where you would actually utilize this freaking serum. Quad, rapid, faster reload with pinpointers. Is that Cryolator? More damage 4-star module with burning. What should work with the Cryolator 2 because freeze burns? Pinpointers is probably going to be your best option for a Cryolator. There's not much. Vipers isn't going to work. Pyromaniacs isn't going to work. You could do Icemans, but you're really only using a Cryolator for PvP probably. So you're not going to be able to VATS that much. I mean, maybe sometimes, but you're not going to be able to VATS all the time. So that's kind of whatever. You could use bullies, but that's only going to work against yellow damage numbers, so the head in PvP. And it's only additive damage. So pinpointers just kind of craps all over bullies. Electricians. But electricians makes a lot more sense on a Cryolator if it's not quad. Because the thing is with quad, you're not reloading as much or as frequently, but you're also not getting as much damage because that 1-star is not buffing damage, so you want to make up for that by adding pinpointers. I mean, it's really up to you, right? It's up to however you like to play and what your build is, but pinpointers is probably the best option. Pinpointers for anything in any situation will almost always be the best option because it's multiplicative. So you're gonna, you're not gonna be getting just 50% extra damage, you're gonna be getting somewhere around 70 to 80. Depends on the weapon and the enemies and stuff, but alright. We are about as invisible as we could get. So actually, let's go inside. Let's do the testing that we normally do against the level 100 mutants. Or if they're not level 100 yet, then we can at least find some that are, put more to... What level are you? 75? Alright, what level are you? 100? 60? Oh. Let's do this against 100s. So we'll just go down here and then come back in again, and they'll be respawned at 100. We'll just do that. Beep boop bop boop bop boop bop boop bop boop bop boop bop. Beep boop bop boop bop boop bop boop 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 bop. This is cool, though, to be completely right in front of them, and they have no idea.
Fight. Need to smash.
Oh, now they know. Okay. Alright, we can try to get sneak attack damage. See if it'll actually do anything. Stick with pinpointers then. Yeah. Honestly, man, at least right now, when in doubt, pinpointers. Honestly. That's definitely the best one, it seems. Yeah, people have been talking about if they're going to nerf pinpointers or not. I mean, at the very least, what would they do? Make it additive and not multiplicative? Is it so terrible that we have a multiplicative 4-star, honestly? Oh, bad. Especially considering that a lot of the other 4-stars are just broken and they're just bugged and they don't do what they're supposed to do. Right? Actually, you know what we could do? A bobblehead. Don't ever use sneak bobbleheads because there's never been a need, but now there's actually a use case for it. Oh.
You don't say! Huh.
What in the heck? Let's stay away from that cow. Sneak. Yeah. Sneaky snake. Ooh, reduced detection chance by 30%. Oh, actually, is there a magazine? You know what? Let's just get even more sneaky with it. This is just overkill, but you know what? Who cares? We don't ever use any of this stuff for anything, so... Stealth boy duration, 50%. Good God. Less noise while sneaking. Detection chance, light. Damage resist while sneaking. Ooh. Actually, 50 damage resistance when you have no armor mutations is actually not a bad amount. Because your damage resistance is so low to begin with. All right, we got some interesting magazines. Which ones do you guys think is going to help us with the sneaky here? Less noise while sneaking. Let's try that one. Come on. There you go, bud.
Come on.
All right. So. We are detected not sneaking. Doing 38 damage. 38 and 33. Ooh, is it gonna go away? Gonna do it? Is it gonna go bye-bye? There's no way you guys know. Right? There's no way.
What was that?
Ooh, okay.
I am strongest. Strongest super mutant. Strongest super mutant.
Now we have this guy. Let's see. It didn't. Okay. So, we is be hidden. Wow. That does work. Yep. Okay. So it is possible to do a sneaking shredder build. Let's see. Ooh, they're onto us. They are onto us. Ooh, what you... Okay, not anymore. So... 98. It says 2 times damage, but that's actually going from 38 to 98. So that's a little bit more than 2. Sneaking is really fun. Honestly. I'm kind of pissed I never did this sooner. You can also use sneaking in the raids to do that extra crit damage get that extra sneak bonus damage against the snake or something like that. So it actually has other viable options too. That's cool that that works. That's pretty sick. So sneaking, yes. We'll call that sneaking. All right, we're hidden again. All right, everybody might be cleared out over here. Oh, whoops. You didn't see nothing, boy. You didn't hear crap. All right, so normal damage was 38. It looked like the sneaking damage was 98. All right, he's hidden. Well, we're hidden. 98. Wow. What is that? So if it's normally doing 38 and we go to 98, that is a 157% increase damage.
What? I hear something.
Do you though? That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Try to find someone to freeze the urges. With the cryolator, got a lot of freezing options now. There's Resolve Breaker. There's the Crusader Pistol. There's the Cold Shoulder. There's the cryolator. A lot of options. Dude, this is so cool that this actually works. Level 100. All right, so we just have caution right now. Ooh, here's a legendary. What you got? You got? We're in that caution state. Yada, yada, yada. Come on. Get uncautioned. We're gonna... All right, now we're hidden. Is it gonna do the same against the legendary? Dang, that is cool. So sneaking works. Huh. Love that. Is there anything else that you guys can think about testing? You might want to try to see if it works or not. Strength doesn't boost Shredder. We know that. Stabilized works. We know that. Bullies still doesn't work. Prime Barrel. Don't use Prime Barrel. Prime Barrel does less damage. For whatever reason. Wait, do we have Prime Barrel on this? That might be why this one's doing less. Oh no, it's Accelerated Barrel. Never mind. Huh, whoops. Prime Barrel. Less damage. So yeah, it looks like your 3-star options are going to be lightweight or endurance or... There's really not many options. You could do what? Agility? Bullet shield? No. All right, let's try this out. Let's see. Yes. We were able to get plus 157% out of sneak attacks. Not the Meatweasel. All right. So, let's see. Here is what we have learned so far. Polished. Bullies. No. What were some other questions that people had in that video? This might have answered most of them, honestly. Bloody Mess does not work. Polished does not work. We tried polished at 105%, 145%, and 150%. None of them worked. The damage was exactly the same, so probably not going to change if you max it out or get it to 190% or 180%. It's not going to be any different. Adrenaline doesn't work. Nerd Rage doesn't work. Overly Generous might work, but kind of what he was saying in chat earlier is a lot of enemies have high rad resist anyway. It's not going to do much. Is that worth it? Probably not. One Gun Army probably does not work because the Shredder is already really good at crippling and staggering anyway. Even if One Gun Army is working, you're probably not going to notice it. So that's a no. LL2 does not work. The plus 5% bonus damage when on a team, what that magazine is, does not work. The Astoundingly Awesome Tales magazine that gives you extra damage against super mutants does not work. So it's pretty safe to say that any magazine isn't going to work. Psycho Buff doesn't work. So chems aren't going to increase the damage of it. Strength does not boost the damage of the Shredder. Stabilize does work, however. Damage increased from... Yes, damage from... Oh, you guys can't see that. Wait, where's the rest of it? Yes, okay, we'll just say this. Plus 23% damage was the increase that we saw from Stabilized. Prime Barrel. No. In fact, the Prime Barrel, for whatever reason, does less damage than Accelerated. So definitely don't put that on. Bullet Shield does not work. In first person or third person, it only works when you load 5 mil into it and you start firing bullets. Then it'll work immediately. But if it's empty, it will not work. Bullies does not work either. So that's kind of what we figured out. It seems like there's really much more else to test. What we can do though is still we got some decent amount of time, so we can just go into now that we know all that info, have a much better idea of what's what, how to get the max amount of damage out of the minigun shredder. Go into a regular lobby and make a couple of adjustments. Actually, wait, hold on. Bring this back up. This needs to be somewhere else. So it said it could put Iceman's. They shred. Yeah, it would be pretty cool if that was for ranged weapons. Be pretty sick. Pretty sick.
Don't look so gloomy, friend. At least you don't look like a prude.
Alright. So Traveling Pharmacy, Basher, Blocker. Refractor 4 to get some extra energy resistance. Oh, wait. Guys need to be this. Life Giver, Iron Stomach, yada, yada, yada. Ghoulish, because we're out of quantums and we're using Toxigoo to heal. Adamantium Skeleton, because we don't have any armor. So, just would be crippled all of the time, pretty much. These are cool. Tenderizer. You know what? Let's try it. This might be kind of tricky. Well, no, we'll just turn it off. Oh. This one. Okay. So this is the one. All right. Let's see. So We have no tenderizer, so tenderizer is not going to be doing anything because it's not equipped.
Here's something.
We will attack this guy. Hit him for 33 and 10.
Die!
And then we will apply tenderizer. He will attack us. All right, he has attacked us. 38. All right, well, he died too quickly. Tenderizer works. All right. Do this. 38 and 38. Put tenderizer on. Attack the same guy. 38. Okay, so that is not working. All right, we'll take tenderizer off again. $38. Okay. Tenderizer does not work. And, you know what? We could try this. Try tanking one for the team. When they attack you, if you're on a team. Alright, so we should be doing more than 38 damage now. Because they are attacking us. 51 and 64. Okay. So taking one for the team worked. Alright, let's try this. 61. The number we're seeing. Take it off. 80. Somebody else on the team might have taking one for the team. Gonna be tricky. Imagine Holy Fire with Icemans. That would be cool. Oh, that would be funny. Bullet Shield, I prefer Chem Fiend. Oh. Yeah, Chem Fiend is a quality of life perk card. It just depends on what your balance you want of quality of life versus combat perk cards. Right? Chem Fiend is great pre-update, especially if you run something like Psycho Buff regularly, because not only was Psycho Buff not as easy to get pre-update, there weren't as many things in Endurance, but now that there's so many things in Endurance, and it's super easy to make Psycho Buff, or any Chem really, because of the raids, Chem Fiend doesn't have as much of an importance, it seems. Because Bullet Shield is too good, man. Bullet Shield is awesome. I mean, you're just going to do extra damage. I mean, Bullet Shield is just if pretty much you were to have more ranks of Ricochet. That's kind of what it equates to, more or less. So, I mean, it's up to you. Yeah. I mean, if you like the extra quality of life of not having to use Chem Fiend as much, but... Because the thing is, in a PvP session, let's just say, for instance, if you had Chem Fiend, you might only need to use Psycho Buff once. But if you didn't have Chem Fiend, then you might need to use it 3 times. I mean, is that worth losing something like Fireproof or Solar Powered or Bullet Shield? It's tough to say. Strength Basher Stabilize going to change to Accelerate, I guess, but Shredder's pretty basic setup. So Strength does not boost the damage of the Shredder minigun. So you would pretty much only have Bashers and Stabilized. And it looks like taking one for the team, but we're going to try something here. We're going to equip this just to triple check that we have it. Pretty sure somebody else on our team here has it, because Nocti or Vlad are probably definitely running it. We're just gonna try this again to get some level 100s. All right, what do we get? 61, and that was after he attacked us. Okay. So, let's take off taking one for the team, and then let's leave the team. Create our own. Hope that nobody joins. Don't join the team for at least 2 minutes, please. Alright, what was it? 61? So now 33. 38. Alright, let's see if this actually will work by ourselves on a team. Who knows? Nope. Does not. Only doing 38. Okay, only doing 38, right? Okay, 38. 38. But if we join a team with other people on it, we are running taking one for the team, and or they are 61. So taking one for the team does work. Interesting. Okay. It's so weird what decides to work with this thing and what doesn't. So strange. Alright. So let's go back. Now, let's make... Even though the theme for this stream is Shredder minigun and underwear, that's fine. Let's make a loadout just kind of based on if you wanted to just get every little last bit of damage out of the Shredder minigun that actually works. What would you use? All right, what were those damage numbers? That was what, 38, and then it went up to 61. So that was 60%. Right? Isn't that what we were seeing? 38 before, 61 after, taking one for the team. Yeah, so at one point, Jexter strength did. It used to buff the basher damage. It does not anymore. We tested that on stream earlier with Psycho Buff. We were doing 38 damage with on a level 100 super mutant. We used a Psycho Buff, which gave us 3 extra strength, and it did 38 damage, so there was no increase. So strength, unfortunately, does not increase Shredder minigun damage anymore. Also saw some 75, 80. Yeah, that was weird. That was crazy. So at the very least, it's doing about 60%. We'll say 60% plus. We'll say 60% or more. Or 60% plus. That's pretty wild. That's pretty cool, though. At least there's some things that do. Taking one for the team is op. Alright, so if we were to do this in here, what would be, let's say, a daily driver build to get his absolute most damage out of the Shredder minigun? What would you use? Let's get rid of this first. Oh, hold on. Let's keep that up. Oh, you can't even see it anyway. Hold on a sec. Hold on 1 second. Just, increase this boy right here. Oh. And then we'll make this a little smaller just to kind of get more stuff on the screen. There we go. So that's the list right now that we've tested and the results from it. You guys can see that on stream. Makes it a little bit easier. We'll just leave that up for now. Refractor 4 out of 4, but I mean, this is really just because we're in underwear. Solar powered, yeah, you could for the extra endurance, but obviously the strength isn't going to do anything for you. Adamantium skeleton, yeah, that kind of makes sense. What do we have? 1 point left. What could we do? Could do starch genes. Well, let's just do rejuvenated, whatever. Rejuvenated is kind of whatever, but not really much else here right now. I would use shredder over auto axe. No reason. Well, the shredder does have its benefits. I mean, the thing, because there's so few amount of things that work with the shredder, that actually is kind of a bonus, because it means you get to have very minimal perk card investment, very minimal resources used in order to get the most damage out of it, right? So if this was a regular build, which this is kind of like a daily driver build right here, at least right now, because using Ghoulish to heal, so that's why Ghoulish is here, but this is kind of the typical high endurance general PvP, PvE loadout kind of thing. Adrenaline would get swapped out for maybe Secret Agent or something, but whatever. The only thing that you would need to add in here would be Basher. And that's it. And you would be doing max Basher damage. So that's the cool thing about it. Right, that definitely has a little bit of an upgrade from hold on a minute. You know what? Let's get. Why are we over encumbered? Oh, we changed loadouts. Hold on a second. Get back to that. I'm gonna clear these guys out real quick. Please jump. Please jump. Yeah, not having adamantium skeleton is really definitely noticing getting crippled more often. Man, this is tricky to use though and be consistent with it. All right, so maybe now we're done. Or is there still something else going on over here? What are you doing, dude? Get out of here. Anyway. Oh, no, you didn't. Why are you back here? Why are you all the way back there? Anyway.
Don't look so gloomy, friend. At least you don't look like a prune. What rivers may hunt them.
Max Basher Damer's still not better than the Auto Axe. Well, yeah, for sure, because you can add a lot of perk cards into the Auto Axe and make it better. I mean, look, there aren't many things that are going to be better than the Auto Axe, but that's not the point. I mean, the point of doing all this is not to try to find something that's better than the Auto Axe. It's just to see what actually works with this weird-ass weapon. That's what the goal here is. So you would want blocker, obviously, and bear arms. Well, not bear arms. Hold on a second. Let's see. What would this look like? So let's say we would have our normal heavy gunner cards. We'd have lock and load. This is where it could change a little bit. So we could have basher, 2 ranks. Now we have 4 perk cards left. So we could either do blocker rank 3 and then 1 lock and load, or vice versa. So we could just say that. And then that's it. Sneaking. The only other thing that we could add here that would optimize this a little bit more and actually make the shredder do more damage is sneaking. That's the only thing. But I mean, this is kind of like the daily driver PvP, PvE kind of build, so it's probably not going to put sneaking in this. But the point is, you would only need to put in 2 ranks of basher pretty much, because all of the other things that boost the basher damage, like taking 1 for the team, stabilized, you're probably gonna be running this stuff anyway if you're in a heavy gun loadout. So very, very minimal investment into it to get it to do a lot of damage. Plus, if someone's using welded rebar, then you can just work around that. That's what's also cool about the shredder. Interested to see if the shredder actually works around reflective 4 stars too. But yeah, auto axe is cool. It gets old after a while just because, oh, it's the meta, you have to use it. It's like, well, that's boring. They killed Rage Quitting, never playing again. What's the scenario for it? Why would you daily drive a basher? Because it's fun. There's also a justification to use basher with fracturers, so the explosive damage with an explosive build. Because again, you only need 2 ranks of bashers, and if you have fracturers on, and you're already in an explosive build that's using demolition expert maxed out, fracturers from the shredder will do more explosive damage to targets because you have demo expert on. So you could actually run a explosive / shredder build too. That's another kind of little plus side of it. Sneaking with shredder, it works. It actually works really well. We were doing over 150% extra damage earlier, so I mean, use both, but not as a daily driver. Yeah, I mean, there were some people in that video earlier that were saying that they really like using shredders, and that it was a couple people actually said, 1 or 2 people that was their main one that they used daily. So some people do. It's fun. It's fun to use just because it's something different. But if somebody's got rebar, you can use the shredder and bypass it. Unless they change that with an update, but all right. So let's see. If we were to do underwear shredder. None of this would really work. Luck is increased under alcohol, but we're not going to be using VATS.
Attention, citizens.
Ooh. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and just max out endurance at 15.
Thank you for your
Nerd Rage isn't going to work. There's no need to have that. We could use Demo Expert. We have the room for it, and we do have fracturers on, so that's cool. Don't really need Gunsmith with it, with the shredder, because it doesn't really deteriorate that fast. Nerd Rage doesn't work. Stable Tools isn't working because we're in underwear. Taking 1 for the team does work. So we'll actually take something out of We might actually can take out the agility card. Action Boy, Dodgy, Born Survivor maxed out. Adrenaline doesn't work. Well, no, we could do some sneaky stuff. Ricochet, Junk Shield, good with Salt. Luck of the Draw is kind of whatever. I mean, we'll just keep Curator on there. Food build. Ongoing Army doesn't work. Alright, we'll take Luck off. No. And then we'll add,
Such odd sorts. How can you change anything if you're only focused on preserving a past that led us to all of this?
try this. Actually, hold on a minute. Enemies killed with a melee weapon have a 10% chance to explode. Oh, this isn't maxed out though. You guys think this would work? Actually, you know what? We could try it to see. It's going to be kind of tricky to try this. No, we'll test that later. That's actually the only thing that might be left to test is whether or not that would work. Wait, hold on. Where's that nuke? Queen. Shit. Okay. I'll just go ahead and go to that then. Yeah, we're gonna need what rads. Alright, we're not gonna sneak this time. So we'll take agility off. And then we'll do what rads. Sizzling style to get some extra something. And then yeah, there's not really anything else here to do. There's not really any other not really any other points to put this in, so whatever, we're just gonna leave it. See how this goes. Fracture on mine, haven't seen much difference. It procs pretty often. It works. Now, whether or not it actually increases damage by a lot is kind of a different story, but it works. What the heck? What was that? Wait, whatever. Really weird how loot all doesn't work for that, but whatever. Oh, that's right. Dang. That's right. All right, yeah, we can do that. Put that in. Repair every week or so. Yeah, it's not bad at all. honestly. Not bad at all. Under the H, those icons. What do you mean? What icons? Talking about. We are cucumbered AF. Oh, we got an arms keeper. Oh, nice.
You love to see it.
All right. How much non-scrappable junk do we have right now? 46, 47, 48, 52. So we would need 48. Nice. Such a weird loadout. It really is. So strange. Would there actually be room for us to add Funky Duds? Oh, wait, hold on. Sizzling Style and Funky Duds don't work because we're not wearing armor. Duh! Ouch. You dingus. Okay. So that really only leaves this as another potential option. Enemies killed with a melee weapon. But if we're going to do that, then we need to probably use one that does not have fracturers, right? That hasn't. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, if anybody's on Xbox, Mark West is looking for somebody to do raids with. You guys are down. I hate bars. New icons introduced. They show what kind of damage you're taking. So, did they add more? Because that was in the PTS for a while leading up to the Gleaming Depths update. Did they recently, in the past week or so, add some new icons? Because after the update, it was showing poison and radiation and fire and a bunch of other stuff. Unless they added something else. Is that what you're talking about? All right, let's see. Actually, do we have a... No, they both have fractures. Let's see. Actually, was there another shredder? No, whatever. We'll just make another one here. Not that big a deal. Probably going to eventually make a third one anyway for different things. No, you know if overly generous works.
Caps are now used as currency?
Oh yeah, gotcha.
I never would have guessed it.
Wait, that's the wrong bench. What you doing?
Get out of there.
Minigun, bang, boom, bam, bada, boom. Does this need legendary rolls on it? Let's see. This one is AA. Fracturers. Vampires. Fracturers. Yeah. Because we could keep one of these. We could keep this one as fracturers for some explosive fun. And then have another one that is AA Bashers, Endurance, and then Pinpointers. And that would be the main one. So we actually do need a third one. So it wouldn't be justified to put rolls on this one. But we'll see. See how we can do with no rolls on it. Redo some food. all this is probably out. Ability. Okay, yeah, we're out of ground mole rat. Perception and energy. Oh, whoops, didn't want to eat that, but doesn't matter. Explosive bobblehead. Sure, why not? Oh wait, we're not doing explosive testing. Crap. Whoops! Just wasting some stuff. Just wasting materials. Wasting stuff. Using resources unnecessarily. You know how we do. Okay, they are level 100. That's cool. Alright, this is the one. So, 10% chance. What have we got? Melee weapon, 10% chance to explode. How many enemies do you think we'll need to go through before we figure out if this works or not? So far, no. They have not exploded. Kind of looking like it might not. Yeah, if we clear all of West Tech, which we'll just do that just to be safe. We clear all of West Tech and it doesn't proc. I mean, it's looking like it's not working anyway. We'll just do a few more just to be safe.
Only for super mutant. Humans.
Here is the next section. Yeah. Hey, bud, calm down. Yeah, it's pretty safe to say at this point that that does not work. I definitely would have proc by now, even at 10%.
No Greeks.
Yeah, we're just gonna say no. Yeah, it doesn't work. Please go away. You are making fast travel very difficult. Please stop. You freaking jerk. Please get out of here. Fine, we will go the long way. Damn, this looks terrible. Oh, that's funny. Hey, well, at least you had the balls to come on stream and tell me that a game that I'm playing looks like shit. Respect. Just be sure to use auto axe, see if it works. It doesn't work, man. I mean, there's no way. I mean, that was what, 30 something enemies, and that collateral damage didn't proc, so nah. We're just gonna say that one a no. Seed damage. No. We'll do all caps. Nah. Wait a minute. When did that go back on? That's weird. That must have equipped itself, during. Alright, well, there probably isn't anything else to test, honestly.
Don't look so gloomy, friend. At least you don't look like a prune.
We'll go ahead and put that guy back for now, and then maybe later on, we'll see if... Oh, wait, we have that to scrap. We could do the old winterized. Let's try to do this based on what would be getting the absolute most damage out of this possible that we could. So that would be in power armor, so that way we can make use of... stabilized. Nothing else would work. Stabilized works. Fully... Thank you. Polished. Sneaking? No, we're not going to do sneaking. Alright, so we have 2 intelligence. I could go somewhere else. Actually... Now... we can just say... Shredder. Yeah. We could just call this a regular Shredder build. And then now... we can take off... what rads? We could put Funky Duds back on. Or we could do electric absorption. Depends on what you're feeling. Take 2 points out of intelligence. Now we have 5 not being used. Evasive isn't getting used. Oh, that's right. Happy-go-lucky increases luck, which makes ricochet work better. Very good suggestion. Thank you for that. Definitely going to start trying to run that more often. Didn't even think about that, honestly, this whole time. Didn't even think about that. Born Survivor. If we're in power armor, we can just do 1. Action Boy's maxed out. Dodgy's maxed out. Okay, we could take 3 points off. Serendipity. Nothing else is gonna work here. Bloody Mess doesn't work. Luck of the Draw? You don't even really need that because it doesn't go down that often. So now we have 8 points not being used. Huh. So we could take off what? Oh yeah, we could take off Charisma. And then we could add in either electric absorption or sizzling style. Actually, we could put on sizzling style because people like to use fire. And then we could take these points, put them back into charisma. Field surgeon, happy-go-lucky. We'll put strange in numbers back on just for the other stuff, but we could try overly generous too again, just to kind of triple check. So that's kind of what this would look like. Guess we could max out strength just to have more carry weight. I mean, there's really nothing else to put any of this in. So this would be kind of a
how Nuka-Cola bottle caps are now used as currency?
hypothetical. We wanted to go for absolute max damage out of this thing. This would be kind of the setup. We would be in power armor. This loadout. Basher, second star. Obviously, you guys can't see that because the webcam's in the way. But, Shredder used to be pretty touch and go. Sometimes it dies as you go. Yeah. Yeah, now that it doesn't scale with strength anymore. That might have been the big thing, honestly. Might have been the big thing. We would do strange in numbers, and then we would add our mutations back in. Which none of these mutations would boost the damage of the Shredder. It would just be for more survivability and ease of access, or more better to daily drive it.
I wonder.
Curator. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that would be a pretty cool build. Hell, honestly, you could even take one of these. You could take strength off and then even add in electric absorption too, honestly. Yeah, none of these other ones are ranged sneak attack damage, so that wouldn't work. 20% chance for melee VATS attacks to do area damage. That's probably not going to work because the Basher doesn't count as melee. So, probably not even worth testing that. It might have been all of them. It might be everything. Magazines don't work. Nothing works with it. That was, focus. That was some pretty cool testing for sure. Learned a lot, figured out a lot. Probably worth making a whole nother separate video now about this. Because the last video was more about what's the best 4-star that works, not necessarily what's the best damage overall. Things that work, things that don't work for the Shredder. I mean, that wasn't really the point of that video, but yeah. Huh. Really weird. Very strange weapon. Very strange. I learned something. Strength. Yeah. It doesn't work for some reason. It should. But the game does not count the Shredder as melee, and they probably got rid of strength buffing the Basher because they didn't count it as melee. It's weird though, because technically it is melee, but the game just counts as bash damage instead of melee, which are two different things. So let's go ahead and... Is that all of it? Okay, that's the full list. So Bloody Mess does not work. Polished does not work at 150%, 145%, 105%. Doesn't matter. Gonna do the same exact damage.
nuclear strike.
We didn't test polished at 200% or 190 or 180 or 170, but if the damage isn't changing between 100 and 150 at different percentages, it's probably not going to change what it increases. So it's safe to say polished does not work. Sneaking does work. Which is pretty interesting because the last thing you're probably going to be doing with the shredder is sneaking, but it works. With just kind of a pretty quick and simple sneaking setup, we were able to get 157 extra damage from sneak attacks. It went up to what? 30 from 38 to what was it? 93 or 98 or something like that. Adrenaline does not work. Nerd rage does not work. Overly generous probably works. We need to test it. We need to test it.
How can you change anything if you're only focused?
All right, which one are we going to use? What armor are we going to use?
From the vault. I saw one
well, we could just do the degenerate armor.
Amusing, but
even though it's assassins, whatever, it's still going to give us something. Especially with our loadout, since we have legendary cards equipped now that have bonuses for wearing a full set. All right, so let's see. Where's our toxic goo? Shredder, overly generous. Put on awareness. Just to see. Actually, where's that nuke? Robots. Okay. Robots nuke. Inbound. See if the red icon appears under the HP bar. Okay. Doesn't look like it.
I splatter your...
Does not look like it. Yeah, that's probably going to be a no. What do you guys think? Didn't pop up at all, so... I have a shredder of vipers. I pair with Strangleheart, but I haven't tested. It does not work. Echo buff wrong. Whoops. Whoops.